ecologic array, and that will increase the free space of your pool, or what we call a default pool in here. Okay, you can see the free space increase. Right. So this is another option available, the automatic volume movement within a pool. So like I said, you can actually mix different rate in a pool, and then by default, the rate preference is automatic. So what that means is, say you have a volume called SQL, and then you create in a pool that consists of rate 50 and rate 10. That particular volume will actually sit on both members, which is rate 50 and rate 10. Okay, automatic. But EQLogic also allows you to put a rate preference. So for example, you have AD server that is business critical. You want to put it in rate 10. You can put a rate preference. Now, rate preference is not always honored if you don't have space. So just keep in mind about that. Now, this is how we create a storage pool. So you have in here a single array with a single send view, right? Then this is a logical of a single array, one physical. You have a volume inside your send. This is pool 1 with a 15K. And then you have an additional array, which is pool number 2, which is 7.2K RPM. Right. So in here, from the send perspective, everything is in one storage array. However, logically, it's actually separated into two pools. Now, you increase your pool number 2 with an additional storage array. Again, a single send view is you have a bunch of storage, but logically, you have 2 pools in here. Now, this is how you tier your storage. So you have your pool 1 with the 15K, and then pool 2 with the 7.2K, right? Now, this is how you assign a volume to a tier pool. So you have all your volumes in here. And then basically you move everything accordingly into your pool, depending on which application needs the highest I/O and which application that can sit on the 7.2. This is how you create a storage pool in the GUI. It's pretty simple. Okay, so you have additional member in here. Again, on the first chapter, I will always mention that when you set up your EQLogic from CLI or from CLI in particular, it doesn't actually configure your rate. So when you log into your group manager, you actually see that one member is unconfigured. So you need to configure this with a particular rate level. Okay, so then it will ask, do you want to configure rate? Now, yeah, then you have the option to choose your storage pool. And you pick your rate level. And that's it. Okay. So this is the option available with this within storage pool. So you can create storage pool, of course, maximum is 4. You can delete storage pool, except the default pool. Then this is quite important. You can actually merge them together. Okay, so that's really good feature. You can move members between pools. You probably already know this because um, on our example when we're doing a firmware upgrade, you can move your pools. Oh, sorry, you can move your member and then to a different pool, such as maintenance pool. You delete it. Sorry, you doing a firmware upgrade on that member, then you move that member back into your production pool. You can move volumes. You can see from our example previously by just moving the volume across 2 different pools. You can actually do it in the GUI by just right-clicking that volume and then select the particular pool you want to move it to. So this is again from the storage perspective when you're doing everything in here. From the application perspective or host perspective, you don't actually see this operation. Okay, so your production is still up and running, and then you can do this operation in the background without impacting any users. Okay, so you can move members, you can add members, you can evacuate members, and things like that. So, right. So this is volume. This is how you create a storage pool. Yeah. And then you can have your select your member in here. And this is the way you merge storage pool. So in our lab next in lab 11, you have the ability or chance to actually do this operation. Okay. So this is how you merge your storage pool. You can see these two are on a 2 different pool. So you have your 2 member in a default pool, 1 member in a other pool. Then all of a sudden everything move together. Now this operation, moving pools or merge pools, is not an instant operation. It needs time. Okay, so just make sure you do it probably over the weekend when you do want to do this, because sometimes it can take days to move a member out of a storage pool, especially if that member is a huge member and it's a slow member, such as a SATA member.
Huwag mo, isang buwan. Dapat yan yung initial na muna, replicate yung muna.
All right, so this is permission, a pool and volumes.
Change pa lang, isang araw na.
Okay. So the highest admin account roles in EQLogic, you have a group admin or GRP admin. You can upgrade firmware and all other functions. And below that, you have a group admin, which can perform all function but upgrading firmware. Okay. Below that, you have pool admin, which you can manage pool and volumes. So if you have pool with group read, okay, you can imagine you can actually do an operation below a pool level. So you cannot do on a group level, but you can do below that, such as on a volume level. Okay, pool admin, same thing, but it has a restricted view of the group. Next is read only. You can also we can only view, and then lastly is a volume admin. So it's the lowest permission available. If you configure a volume admin, that means that particular person can only manage his own volume, right? So he cannot touch other volume. This is really good if you have a system admin that only knows about Windows or VMware. So you don't want people who knows, Windows touching your VMware environment. Next is about Microsoft AD authentication. So with EQL it can actually integrate with AD for a user authentication or group authentication on an EQL array. These are the benefits. So you can use multiple AD user and groups. You don't need to modify your AD configuration. You have a centralized user, right? So you can control your users. You can disable it from AD if that person has left the company, and so on and so forth. So you have a single point where you can easily manage a user who can access your ecologic. Right. So, and lastly is to the ability of disable user access is single operation. Okay, like I mentioned earlier. So rather than you need to reset GRP admin password and things like that, you basically just disable this person from AD, and this person no longer able to access your storage. To configure your AD is pretty easy. Again, this is a group configuration. If you hit the administration tab, so first group configuration in here, then the administration tab, then you click on the Active Directory in here. Okay, so this is a typical single sign-on. So when you log into your Windows environment, you don't, if you will automatically log in to your EcoLogic. Okay. However, you need to actually set this up. So what you need to do? Right. So this is how you set up the single sign-on. You put your Active Directory server, and then you put this information, and also, of course, your password. As soon as your AD is configured properly, then you will see AD is configured over there. And as soon as that happen or join domain, you just put your username and password in here and then click join. And single sign-on is on. Okay, so this is grant PS Group administrative access to the AD user. So if you want a particular user to have access to your ecologic array, this is the step-by-step guide. Okay. This is how you reset automatic login preference. So first, you right-click on the user. Then you basically tick this box. And hit OK. And that's all you need. So it will automatically log in instead of it prompting you to for username and password. All right. So that is at the end of module 8. So you already know what is a group, pool, and describe pool and group. You already know. Group is the sand, right? Members are the building blocks. Pools are the logical containers. So it's just a container, nothing else. How many groups can exist in a PS series sand? Right? You already know about this. Maximum 16 members. You have 4 pools in a group and then 8 members in a pool maximum. You already know from day one. What is the rate policy strongly discouraged in a Dell PS series array? You already know why we disabled this particular one, rate 5. Okay, but again, it's available for you to use. Do you have any questions?
Questions? None so far.
Any question,
None.
guys?
None, sir.
No? Okay. All right. I need to step out for about half an hour, and I will join in the. I will continue training in about half an hour from now. So if you want to continue doing your lab from lab 7 till lab 10, if you can, and then after that we'll continue in about half an hour on module number 9. Okay?
All right. Enroll. All right. Thank you. Okay, continue natin yung love.
Sir, connect mo na dyan. Dyan tayo.
Dito na.
Ah, kailangan na ba?
Busy si
Para
Ma'am
matapos
Yona
na
eh.
natin.
Busy yan. Tangin yung busy ka.